Hi, this is Ossia Smith, and I'm going to be explaining to you how to fill out FAFSA. The FAFSA is a very long and very strenuous process for many people, and a lot of people are new to college, they're only 18, they're just starting out, and they probably weren't really sure of how the process works. So here are the rules and requirements and everything you're going to need. The first step, create a studentaid.gov account or FAFSA ID. FAFSA and FSA ID is a username and password you need to sign the FAFSA form online. If you don't have a FAFSA ID, get a FAFSA ID ASAP. It takes about 10 minutes to create an ID. This will help you filling your first time out. You'll be able to use your FAFSA ID right away to sign and submit your FAFSA form online. If this is not your first time filling out the FAFSA form, you may need to wait 1 to 3 days for us to verify your info before you can use your FAFSA ID to renew your FAFSA form and sign it online. Step 2. Start the FAFSA form at FAFSA.gov, studentaid.gov. The 2021 to 2022 FAFSA form launched on October 1st. FAFSA opens up October 1st of every year. This is important to note. It also needs to be renewed and filled out at least once a year. So if you started your FAFSA form on April 1st, you would need to fill it out again on April 1st of the next year. So it's good for about 3 semesters. Make sure you have a username and password written down and you save it just so you'll already have this information, so when it's time to fill it out again, you'll already have that. Make sure you keep up with that. You're also going to need a password for your signature page, and your parents are going to need a password for the signature page, and they're also going to need a password and a username for their information when they enter it on the FAFSA form as well. So there are deadlines that you have to meet, so be aware of that. So, if you are the parent, read 8 easy steps for parents completing the FAFSA form. This information is also online. If you are the student, click I am the student. Enter your FAFSA ID, username, and password, then click Next. If you are the parent, click I am the parent, preparer, or student from a freely associated state. Provide the student's name, social security number, and date of birth, and click Next. Choose the FAFSA which you would like to complete. So this year or next year's. If you are going to do both, you will be attending college during both time periods and haven't completed your 2021 to 2021 FAFSA form yet, complete that first, wait 1 to 3 days until it processes, then go back and complete the 2021 to 2022 FAFSA form. You'll also need to create a saved key. Number 3, fill out the student demographic section. This information such as your name, date of birth, etc. If you have completed the FAFSA form in the last past, or you log into the FAFSA form with your FAFSA ID, a lot of your personal information will be pre-populated to save you time. Make sure you enter your personal information exactly as it appears on your social security card. That's right, no nicknames. List the schools in which you want your FAFSA information sent. You're going to need your school's address, the name, the school code, and you're also going to need other information. So make sure if you're applying, you list all of your schools that you want and all of the information. Answer the dependency status questions. In the dependency status section, you'll be asked a series of specific questions to determine whether you are required to provide parent information on the FAFSA form. So step 5 affects step 6. They are related and dependent. Even if you live on your own, support yourself, and file taxes on your own, you may still be considered a dependent student for federal student aid purposes. So if you were under the age of 24, if you were unmarried, and you were claimed as a dependent, even if you live on your own, you may still be required to fill out this information on your parents. Fill out the parent demographic section. This is where your parents will provide basic demographic information. Remember that it doesn't matter if you don't live with your parents. You must still report information about them if you are determined to be a dependent student in the step above. Number 7. Supply your financial information. Here is where you and your parents, if applicable, will provide your financial information. This step is incredibly simple if you use the IRS Data Retrieval Tool, or DRT. It allows you to support your IRS information into the FAFSA form with just a few clicks. Using this tool also may reduce the amount of paperwork you need to provide to your school. If you're eligible, use it. If you did not work or you were unemployed during that time, this information is not required for the IRS because you did not file your taxes. Now, step 8, the final step. Sign and submit your FAFSA form. If you're not finished with the FAFSA form until you and your parent, if you're a dependent student, sign it. The quickest and easiest way to sign your FAFSA form online is with your FAFSA ID. Note, if you, the student, logged into the FAFSA form with your FAFSA ID at the beginning, you won't need to provide it again on this page. But if you're a dependent student, your parent will still need to sign before you completely submit. Here's some tips. If you or your parent forgot your FAFSA ID or password, you can retrieve it. Make sure you and your parent don't mix up your FAFSA IDs. This is one of the most common errors we see, and it's extremely important for each person to create his or her own FAFSA ID and not share it with anyone. Make sure you, the parent, is using his or her FAFSA ID to sign the FAFSA form, chooses the right parent number from the drop-down menu. If your parent doesn't remember whether he or she was listed as parent 1 or parent 2, he or she can go back to the parent demographics section to check. If you have siblings, your parent can use the same FAFSA ID to sign FAFSA forms for all of his or her children. Your parent can also transfer his or her information into your sibling's application by using the information provided on the FAFSA confirmation page. So, after you sign it and sign this FAFSA, congratulations, you've signed and submitted it. You have completed the FAFSA form. Now, you're just going to have to wait for your information to be processed. This information has been sent to the schools, and the schools will also determine the amount of financial aid you get. So, congratulations, you made it. Again, happy for you. Excellent job. You were very patient to make it this far. This is Ostia Smith, and if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.